Welcome to the Pharmacy Leaders Podcast with your host, Tony Guerra. The Pharmacy Leaders Podcast is a member of the Pharmacy Podcast Network, with interviews and advice on building your professional network, brand, and a purposeful second income from students, residents, and innovative professionals.
Welcome to the Pharmacy Leaders Podcast. Usually I don't broadcast during the week, Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, but I'm landing at APhA 2018 here on Friday. So I wanted to go through my schedule and kind of talk about what it is to go to APhA. A bit later in my career, I graduated in 97, so this is my 20th year as a pharmacist. But I just wanted to go through some of the things that I'm going to be going to, or some things that I wanted to highlight, and kind of talk about my experiences that I had in the past at APhA. And like a lot of you, you may find that you start with APhA in school, then go to a couple of meetings. You might have a little bit of a break as you have children like I did, and then you come back to it. And it's not only the same, but it's also a little bit different in the way that you approach it. Now, I am an extrovert, so I love to meet people and talk to people, and most of what I do, because I'm a non-clinical pharmacist, I don't even really use my license. I just have to have the degree to do what I do, which is teach pharmacology and chemistry. I like to just meet people and reconnect with everybody. So I'm going to go through my schedule, and you're going to notice it's kind of devoid of actual presentations. And I have a couple in there. But I usually like to just go and kind of see what happens, and just kind of go with the flow, really. I don't really like to plan out things too much in terms of those things, because I always see something that might be really good, or I might get a recommendation from someone. So 9:25 a.m. I fly into Nashville, and then I'm going to try to make the new drugs of 2017. It's kind of a fan favorite. I think it's around 12:30, just after lunch. And then hopefully I'll be able to get into my hotel room, and then I'll head across the bridge. It's just a mile and a half from where I am I think I'm at the Radisson, from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Cumberland River Compacts River Center, Suite 300. If y'all don't know, there's a half marathon right there, so you can just walk across the bridge from the hotels, and I think the start is right by the stadium, and I think that's where the stop is as well. So I'm actually probably going to be doing 14 miles, because I have to get back to my room and showered to get going to some other things on Saturday. But the packet pickup is on Friday. Matt Marinchick, who we highlighted on Monday and Wednesday of this week, will be at the Westin Hotel that night from 5 to 9 p.m. It's kind of a chill environment, so I'll try to meet up with him there, just say hello. And if you want to meet up with me before everything starts, or if you want to do an interview on that day, it looks like my Friday's pretty open. It looks like I've scheduled interviews for most of Saturday and Sunday. But if you want to meet with me, Friday's a pretty good day to do it. Then from 7 to 9, I'll be at the APhA opening reception, Music City Center. I think that's from 7 to 9 p.m. And then I'll kind of see what my buddies are doing after that. And I probably won't make it too much of a late night on Friday because of the half marathon on Saturday morning. So 8 a.m., I'll be at the Music City half marathon. I'll probably get over there around 7:15. And then head back over. So I'll literally run the 13.1, and then I'll run another 1 mile right back to my room, try to get showered and everything. Try to get there for the exhibit hall opening, which I think is at 11 a.m. RxInsider's there. I talked to Shannon Staten a couple of times, and they're a great group, so I'll try to connect with them. And then I think YFP has their own booth as well. I'm going to go to the Media Advisory Luncheon in room 205A. That's at noon. And the Media Advisory is a group of people that respond to requests about pharmacy and really promote the profession and how we can help. While many of us are, well, I'm not, but many pharmacists are introverts, it's important that we get things out there, and that the people that do want to respond and that do have social connections are trained in this way. So I'm excited to see what that's about from 12 to 2. I'm going to sneak over to meet the researchers. The guy I've worked with from Drake University, Key Gales, is presenting a paper there, and hopefully it's madness because you can get CE for it. So unlike maybe some of the other meetings you've gone to where somebody will sit there for a couple hours, maybe have one or two people stop by their poster, because I think if they do it the same way as they did in San Francisco, there's a checklist. So you go to the poster, and then the person that's the researcher, I think, signs it, or you mark that you went to see them. And I think that's a really cool way of making sure that people are engaged with the posters. I think that's an underutilized way to connect and meet with people that are doing things that you want to do across the country, and it's one of the only times you'll get to do it. And that's from 12:30 to 2:30 I think it's session MCC, so Exhibit Hall CD. From 2 to 3, and again, we're having a lot of overlap with the things I'm going to try to do. There's the new Practitioner Network Financial Roundtables, and I think that's the YFP guys putting that together, and I think they're going to be different roundtables based on student loans or buying a house and things like that. And I'm going to try to check that out. I was a real estate agent for 7 years and recently bought an investment property. I didn't know what to do with all the money I made from the book, so I just bought a house and used that as the 20% down, and it's an extra house. I already had a house. And just taking the money from the book and trying to pay that off and make that maybe more of a diverse portfolio. But again, I'm 20 years out, so I don't have any debt, and my life is a little bit different. But I'll try to check that out, especially that real estate table. Then I interviewed Kaycie Rathburn from the University of Houston, who was in the contest. She was one of the winners. Then Hanna Murray from the University of South Carolina, a little bit later than that. I'm going to try to check out that Innovative Practices in Precepting. Michael Scalese is presenting that. You can always not only get the content from the speaker, but also if you're a preceptor and you're in a room with a bunch of preceptors, that's a place that you can connect. And that's the way I look at it. I always look at things as not only the content, but the people that are there that I can meet as well. Around 5:30, I'm going to interview James Cong, University of Texas, although the University of Texas dashed Iowa State's hopes for any postseason play in basketball. We can still be friends. Then I'll try to make it over to the Creighton reception, and I really recommend that you make it to your receptions. I didn't go to Creighton, but I am a preceptor for Creighton, Iowa, and Drake, and then if somebody calls me up, I could probably do it for some other schools now that I have the schedule. But Creighton is one that has that distance program, so it's kind of cool to connect with my past APPE students and maybe some future ones. And then 7:30 to 9, my alma mater, the University of Maryland, room 205. And I don't know if I'm going to go down to Broadway. I might check it out, but I'm 45 years old, and it's St. Patrick's Day and March Madness and Broadway in Nashville. I know there's 45 bars, but that honestly is not going to be enough. So might take it a little bit chill that night. We'll see, but maybe I'll check it out for a little bit. Then Sunday on the 18th, I get up at 9. I think I'm going to be interviewing Stephanie Peng, who is from St. John's, and look forward to interviewing her, get to know a little bit more about pharmacy there. And then I think there's some APhA photo shoots that we're going to be doing, so I think that's somewhere around 10 a.m. for me. I'm not sure. It might be in the afternoon. Back to the exhibit hall. This is going to be the day that I can really kind of spend time with people in the exhibit hall. So if you want to meet with me and you're kind of a micropreneur or solopreneur, get with me and I can, we'll schedule some time. Then around 1 o'clock, I interview Laura Sosinski of Butler University College of Pharmacy, and excited to hear about them because some of my best friends when I graduated pharmacy school, we met in Phoenix, were from Butler, and we all went out there to Phoenix, and then one by one kind of came back to our own homes, them to Indiana, and me back to Baltimore, Washington, and then, of course, I ended up in Iowa after fell in love and got married to an Iowan. Then 3 o'clock, they have the APhA New Practitioner Network Financial Planning, and I always like to hear financial information. This is Tim Ulbrich of YFP, and they've got a good connection with APhA. If you want to listen to the Drew Register episode, that was pretty good. Newer guy who's involved in APhA with engagement, and it was really, really well done. And I always like to hear about kind of financial planning. It's beginning of the year, and my wife's still on me for getting my taxes done. So I will get that done after I get back from APhA. Then try to check out Matt Marinchick again, Sunday, Margaritaville. That's a really cool place because it's the windows are open. The singer's actually right there, right next to the street, so you'll hear him from the street. And then you just kind of walk in and turn left, and there's the singer, and then there's tables, and then a little bit of bar there on 322 Broadway. So I'll try to check him out there. And then Stuart Haines was a Maryland guy evaluating the cardiovascular benefits of antidiabetic medications, and that's just reconnecting with somebody that I knew during my Maryland days, and he's a super nice guy, but also a fantastic clinical pharmacist, especially if you're thinking ambulatory care. This is the guy that you want to listen to. Then up to the Pharmacy Leadership and Education Institute, the Prescott Award, 207D from 5:30 to 6:30. At the Iowa reception, 5:30 to 7. Again, tons of overlap with all this stuff, where I can meet those people that I precept from Drake, from Iowa, and maybe some of the people that are on my schedule for next year. Certainly stop by and come find me. And then 6:30 to 8 p.m., the Phi Delta Chi reception. And then Sunday night's probably when I'll go downtown to Broadway and kind of enjoy it. Sunday night's not as super crazy as Friday and Saturday, although every night in Nashville is pretty packed. It's very much like Vegas of the Deep South. So anyway, that's going to be what my schedule looks like at APhA. I hope I get to see some of you there, and certainly the best way to contact me while I'm there is to use my email, AAGUERRA. So the first letter of my first name, Anthony, first letter of my middle name, Alexander, and then my last name, Guerra. So AA Guerra, and then at dmacc.edu. So that's Des Moines Area Community College.edu. That's the best way to get in touch with me. And let's meet up. Just love to have a great time in Nashville, and then I fly out Monday, so I don't think I'll be seeing much of anybody then. But anyway, hope to see you there, and have a great APhA 2018.
Support for this episode comes from Good Night Pharmacology, 350 brand and generic name drugs with classifications, a leading resource for students in the United States, United Kingdom, and Australia. Print, ebook, and audiobook available on Audible, iTunes, and Amazon.com. Thank you for listening to the Pharmacy Leaders Podcast with your host, Tony Guerra. Be sure to share the show with the hashtag #PharmacyLeaders.